Welcome back to another opportunity to learn, grow, and evolve, not just on your own, but part of a whole community of people who are doing the same thing for themselves, including myself. And over this past couple weeks, actually 2 weeks ago, I had COVID. And when I was sitting with COVID, I had my 10-day quarantine. I was sitting and I couldn't see anybody. I just had to be with myself. And I was grateful. Here's why. The week before I had COVID, I was having a really difficult time getting things off of my plate and setting boundaries. And once I got COVID, I had no choice but to set boundaries. And when I set those boundaries for myself, and I was feeling better, not super sick, I recognized how powerful setting boundaries is for yourself. Because when you set boundaries around your space, your energy, and your time, instead of saying yes to many different people and projects and things, you are creating this abundance of energy and higher quality energy and vibration for yourself. Because you're choosing yourself first. And when I was saying yes to other people and not setting boundaries, for a lot of that stuff, I was saying no to myself. Let me repeat that. When I was saying yes to other people, I was saying no to myself. That is not where we gain energy or power. That's where we engage in people pleasing. That's where we lose energy, we lose power. And so COVID helped me to set those boundaries because I had no choice. And in that moment of setting those boundaries, I recognized, again, because I've been through this multiple times before, that when we set boundaries for ourselves and we say yes to ourselves and no to other people, it gives us our power back to be in our space and be the creators of our lives. Creating that higher quality life for ourselves and living in that higher vibration of clarity, of peace, of happiness, and creating that for ourselves, learning the tools, doing what we want to do, instead of getting caught up in being the reactors to our lives and saying yes to other people when really we should be saying no to them and yes to ourselves. Now, if it's a yes for us to say yes to them, then that's a different story. That can also be powerful. But people pleasing is just stripping us of our vital life energy, and that is not helping us. And so I made a pact with myself when I was in COVID that when I got done with my 10-day quarantine, I was going to be very strong with setting boundaries so that I had this ample space around me, so that I was living in my power instead of giving my power away to all of the people around me. And here is what this looks like when I visualize it, right? Because visualizations really help me grow. You have the before I set strong boundaries here, okay? I'm the center, the big ass self, and this is my space around here. And this big outside is my boundary. Now you have all of these people who want your attention, who want your energy. Maybe they want your knowledge. They want something from you. And they're coming up to your boundaries. And this line is where you say yes or no. Now, if you're saying yes to all of them, then they're all getting a piece of your space, a piece of your time, a piece of your energy. And as they get your energy, you are not getting that energy because energy is finite. So your space becomes very filled. Okay? This is before we set strong boundaries. Then we flip to another page here. If you're setting strong boundaries, we're going to double layer this line just because we want to be really strong with our boundaries. Again, we're in the center. This is our boundary. When people ask again for our energy, our time, our space, our knowledge, whatever it might be, and we're saying no to the people that we want to say no to and yes to ourselves, then energy comes from this person and this person and this person, and now there's so much more space for us, energy for us, these finite resources that we have that we can be using to create that life that we want for ourselves, to move into that higher quality life for ourselves, or to complete that task or that project that we have for ourselves that brings us energy. Again, we're losing energy when we're saying yes to other people and no to ourselves. We are gaining energy when we say yes to ourselves and no to other people, or yes to ourselves and yes to other people. Making the decision for ourselves, from ourselves. Now, this will make you magnetic because people are going to want what they can't have. And so that's why it's important to practice setting boundaries. Now, when you're setting these boundaries, this can look simply like, hey, do you have time for a phone call? Hey, I can't right now. I have this other thing that I want to work on or spend my energy on. And when you set these boundaries, also, for me in the beginning, and even now, when I'm setting these boundaries sometimes, I'll feel this little tinge of guilt come up, right? Feeling bad that I had to say no to this person. And when that guilt comes up, perhaps that guilt is coming from one of those outdated conditioning thought patterns that we got from when we were a child, especially when we were younger and we didn't have the ability to set boundaries for ourselves, or we were shamed for setting boundaries. If that guilt comes up when you're setting boundaries, perhaps you have some outdated conditioning, some outdated habits and thought patterns that you just need to work through. So when you're setting the boundaries and that comes up, perhaps using a grounding or centering tool like cognitive behavioral therapy to recognize where it's coming from and to move forward without getting roped into that shame or that guilt, right? And that's important because guilt is a common thing that comes up when setting boundaries. But an important question to ask yourself in that moment is, will I be better off by setting this boundary or by getting caught up in what this other person or this other thing is wanting from me, right? Because your resources are finite. You do not have unlimited energy or time. So this is really important, bringing that power back to yourself. So then you could spend that power doing and creating what you want to. And this is a liberating thing because then you have this trust in yourself to show up for you. And as you build that trust for yourself, then you really start to have this snowball of power. I could say no to that. I trust that I can protect my time, protect my energy. And because of that, you step with a little bit more power in your feet, knowing and trusting yourself that you are here for you. You are here for you, right? Might sound selfish, but the people that you do want to say yes to and give your time to, they will get even higher quality time and energy as a result of you setting these boundaries with other people because you have more to give. Instead of emptying your cup of liquid into everybody's cup, instead now you have more to put into the cups that you want to put into. And that is powerful. The relationships that you have will benefit from this, right? This is a powerful thing to live in, these boundaries. If this was valuable to you, please, again, let me know. Let's have a conversation about it. Where are you getting caught up? What doesn't sit with you well? Is the guilt coming up for you? Are you trying to use different tools that you have learned about, or you want to learn other tools that can help you move through that guilt or that shame? Let's have a conversation about it in the comments below, or if you feel more comfortable reaching out to me on Instagram or Facebook and we can have a private conversation about it. Also, as always, if you found this content valuable, and only if you found this content valuable, a like or a subscription goes a really long way. Let's continue to learn, grow, and evolve and create this life for ourselves where we are happy, we are clear, we are creative, and we are powerful instead of getting caught up in that anxiety or that doubt or that insecurity or that worry. Much love. I'll see you very soon.